Hello, hello, hello. I'm Anne Lewis, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. So tonight I'm going to be showcasing it's a complex name, so I'll just check it out, a pop-out accordion card, which I think this is one of those fancy fold cards or fun fold cards that has a whole lot of different names, but I've picked a really easy one of what it looks like to me. So if you're watching this live, please leave a comment and let me know whether you can see and hear me, because I'm hoping I haven't got any technical issues today. Haven't had any for a while, but I did get this strange error message. So let's see how we go. So this is the card that we're going to be making. So it's a 3D card, interactive card, and it's a little hard to see, but if it was this is what you would see. So it actually sits up on your table, mantelpiece, wherever you want to put your cards. So it sits up like this. You get a choice of how it sits. And the good thing about it is that it folds down and will easily fit in, I'm hoping, easily fit in to there we go, into oh, you can't see me. Sorry, you can see me, but you can't see my desk. So go back a little bit. So this is the card. Well, we're making a version of this card, and it does fold down to fit in an envelope. In fact, it folds down even smaller than an envelope. It's a little hard to see because it's one of those cards that sits up like that. Looks perfect, but you're going to see that when you're looking at it. Oh, thank you, Glenda. Thank you so much, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm expecting Kiko because she's been a little ignored today, and so she wants to get in the fun. We'll see if I can get through this without sharing my craft desk, without having my rescue cat come and join us. It does make it a little chaotic if she's here. Now, we're making a version of this card. Now, you know that I like making cards. Well, I do a sample in one set of designer series paper, and then I use another designer series paper so that you can actually see that you can use what's in your stash. So I called this Raid Your Stash class because you can use whatever's in your stash for both the designer series paper and the decoration on front of these little panels. So you could use whatever bundle you have. Whatever you got, and you can have a little play. This is not a difficult card, but the interesting thing about this card does teach us a lesson, because we want certainty in a card, and this card isn't as certain as far as measurements go as some other cards. So I'm going to show you how to make it successful no matter how or what you do to cut it out. Now, you do need to be a little careful with your measurements. But in reality, there may not even necessarily be any die cutting for this card, and my card that I'm doing tonight has no die cutting. This one only had this die here, and I liked it because the black was quite stark, and made it pop on this gorgeous paper, which is the Full of Life designer series paper. So it's only 6x6, so it's perfect for a card like this. And I was using a few of my little scraps, so it was great for that. Now, I'm going to put this aside, and let's get started on tonight's card. Now, I'm going to show you, pop this up. So if you want to take a screenshot, now's the time to take a screenshot. Oh, that's not what I wanted, was it? Why can't I? I love it when software keeps changing. Hi, Myrtle. Hi, Marianne as well. So these are all the measurements you need to cut, but I'll walk through them as well because I have them written on my pieces. And so I'll give you a couple of minutes to just do not a couple of minutes, a couple of secs to do the screenshot, and then we'll move on. So I will post this also, this PDF, actually in probably the description and on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'll get this out of the way and let's go back down to my desk. Here we go. Before I go, I just want to show you, just in case you missed last week's live session, I made this card, and I had my friend from the United States, Bethany Barnard, who also she made a 3D card, which is actually sitting over there. So, but if you'd like to know how I made this card, you'll have to watch the video. But I've made the background paper, and obviously I've done some simple stamping. So let's get started. So I haven't got a sample. Well, I've got the original sample that I showed you before, but I'm going to be using, and I've got some other cards using this exact paper. Now, I think I've done a live on this before. Hi, Sharon. But previously, I have used this paper and die cuts to make these cards. So I'm just going to show you. So I've already used lots of this paper. That's why I'm showing you these. What have I got here? I've seen that one, and this one. I think they're the 4 cards. So I did these cards as a card set, which I'm going to be giving them as a gift next week. Anyway, I've got to keep that a secret just in case the recipients are watching. Hopefully they are, but hopefully they're not in another way. So, as you will see, and I'll come back to my cutting guide. So the card base has, and I'm using blueberry bushel. So I'm cutting 2 pieces, 4 inches by 8 inches, and then I'm scoring at 246. How easy is that? So these are my pieces cut already at 4 by 8. And then I'm just going to score using my trimmer. Now, who uses their trimmer and who uses their score tool? Who likes using their score tool? I don't ever use my trimmer. But it was interesting, when I had Bethany here last week, she was horrified that I used my trimmer. Which one do you use? And hi both to both Glendas and to Madeline. And good to see that Kiko's getting a big welcome. But I'm saying it softly because whilst I love her dearly, crafting with her in the room is definitely chaotic. So I'm going to do both these pieces. So 2, 4, 6. So nobody's telling me whether you use your score tool or your trimmer. And for anyone who's joined me, I'll show you a photo. If I can find it. This is the card we're making. So obviously it sits up. So it's a stand up by itself. It doesn't need me to support it. But I'm making a different version of that. Anyway, so these are my 2 pieces. Now, I just want to, it's the old story. Now, I want to come down. This is 4 inches here. So I do need a ruler. I don't need a ruler. So what I'm going to do is put the 4-inch side in my trimmer, pull it over to the 2-inch so I can mark off 2 inches at both ends. and 2 inches at this end. So this is where, so I'm just using a pencil. I'm doing the same on this. Oh, actually, I only need to do it on one, and I'll show you why. Just going to put my trimmer over there. Hi, Chrissy. So I'm hoping that you can see. I've just put a 2-inch mark there, and I'm only doing it on one because I'm going to cut them both together. Let's save a little bit of time. And then so I can see where my score lines are, just in case I can't, I'm putting a pencil mark there. So where those pencil marks, so this is like the pointy, so see how we're going to cut that? We're going to do the same on this side. My head's spinning now. But anyway, we'll get there. You know me and my spatial capacity. I have to work these out bit by bit. So I've got these nicely lined up. I'm going to put the 4-inch side at the top of my trimmer. And where I've marked that pencil mark there and where that score line is, which I also put a pencil mark, I want to keep these nice and straight because this is the secret to the card. So I'm just going to do that so that that mark lines up in my cutting track and the same as that score line where I put the second mark. So that just moved a little bit. Now what you do find is when you adjust one, sometimes the other one might move. So it clips down. Of course, I've got a score mark there, so let's go. Oh, that moved. How did that happen? Let's see if I can make this work. I might have a small problem here. I might have to, hopefully I don't have to recut these. Did move. It moved about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to keep going and seeing if I can make this work. So round this end, I just need to be a bit more careful, don't I? So pull it around, make sure the mark here, that's how it moves. The mark here and that score line. This one's better. Let's see if I can make this work. I may have to recut, but I won't have to walk through it. I know. So you have 2 pieces like this. And you're going, what are you doing with those 2 pieces? Now the first thing you're going to do is get your bone folder. So I've got them lined up like this. And I'm going to turn them in towards the front. This is where it's not going to be perfect. And it isn't really perfect. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So I've just turned that back. And I want to turn this over. And I'm just thinking maybe a better way of doing this is, of course, let's see if this one's any better. Because it's the centre one that's a little harder. Sometimes you've just got to work on things. Let's see how this now looks. Yeah, that's a little better. Righto. And the reason is because I don't want it to go over that score line there, so the 4-inch score line. So I'm going to turn this over, line this up, and to keep it lined up whilst I work on it, I'm just going to add a little bit of washi tape. Now you can use any low-tack tape here. So I'm lining these edges up and keeping it nicely together. All right. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to turn this over And then I'm going to bring you back to this. So you can now see I've got this, without gluing it yet, one piece. I'm going to put that up the top, and then I'm coming back to, I want to, my squares are going to look like, I just want to show you what my squares are going to look like. So when I'm talking about my squares, really they're diamonds. It's these, oops, sorry, these pieces here. I've done mine like this. So I've got obviously one that sits like that, one that sits there, and then one that sits, you know me, one sits over there. So I've got three of these. So this piece here is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So they're squares. And I'm going to put that there, which then holds this together. Now, I'm going to just use some multi-purpose glue, because this is actually what holds it together. So I need a little bit of glue on this. Probably not that one. It's empty. Oh, here's one on my desk. So I just want a thin bead. I don't want this, oops, don't want that just happened, but let's get rid of those. A little bit in the center. So just a fine bead around each of those triangles. Mine's just come apart a little bit. The joy of doing things live, when you're just doing it yourself, you know how easy this is. So I'm just going to put my 2 7/8 inch square. It's part of the diamond, right? And it should. Now, I do want to show you something. And I wanted particularly to show you this. As I said, not that bit, but this. Now, this is one of those projects where you can cut it down, where you can cut this down. Now, really the right size is 2 7/8. But if you take 1/16 of each of two sides off, this will really fit in within those score lines. Now, I didn't do that because I wanted to show you what happens. This one I took off, oops, 1/16, and it fits in perfectly. Now, it depends. That's because these folds take up space. So if you do it exactly the same, I've got a, sorry, I did put that on a bit of an angle as well. This is one of those cards. It isn't this difficult, I have to say. So I've left this full size, and I want to show you what ends up happening. But you can even take it down to 2 3/4. But I've only ever found 1/16 of two sides. And you'll understand what happens, because when I make this fold, it gets caught a little bit in there, and it doesn't look as pretty, but it'll still work. Idea. So I then can layer that on there, because this is going to be my pretty paper. Now this is all using, I didn't tell you this before, it's all using the Wildflower Birthday 12 by 12 designer series paper, which is so, so pretty. So how gorgeous is this paper? So, man, I just love it. It's such pretty paper. It's very feminine, rightio. So you're not going to be using it for the boys in your family. So let's put this one I can glue this on now. Don't need, oh, actually I won't. I could put that on now, but I want to put these panels on. Now you need, if I come back here, this is back to the card base. You want 4 of these cut. So they're 3 and, I'm hoping you can see that. 4 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. And then you want 4 of these, because they go on top, at 3 3/4. I'll turn this over. 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. So it's simple. This is a really simple technique. All you're going to do is glue it. So this goes on the background of this card. Now, to get these to look really neat and tidy, you just want to make sure that border is the same all the way around. And that's what multi-purpose glue is really good for, because it gives you that wiggle room. Now, I've already glued these together. Now, the easiest 2 are these to put on. So let's put them on first. And you want to have the same, you're going within those score lines, and you just want the same border all the way around. Such gorgeous, pretty paper. Right, I'll do this one. So for those who've just joined us, we're making, using different ingredients, but we're making a card like this. Right? Oops. Like this. So it will stand up on your mantelpiece. So it's kind of a stunning card because, one, it's easy to post in the mail because it does collapse, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, to put these 2 panels in here, what you want to do is just fold that over. Then it's really simple to add these. Oops. Shouldn't do that. Now you want those top and bottom to line up nice and neat. I always like using my bone folder to straighten this out. Turn this over, spin that centerpiece around. Do the same here. Now this paper, whilst it does kind of join together, I haven't spent any time because it's not one of those that continues in a seam. So that's how it now looks. How gorgeous is that? Then all we've got to do is add these pieces on here. Oh, got a few spare bits here that I need to get rid of. So I need the pink. So that's going to sit like that. And then these, and I'll just show you, these will spin around and then we'll add them onto here. But before I spin them, let's just reinforce those folds. And let's work on this center one first. Right. So I'm going to be using, because I love this set, and for those who read my message or advertising for this to remind you about this class, is I was running a little late today. Let's be honest, I was running very late. I had a lot happening today. So here's my little base. Now I can add all of these on. I can do them. Now these are 2 5/8 in square. That's the designer series paper. So I just need 3 of the designer series paper. one more over here. But I decided to use the die cuts that come with this paper, because when I finish the paper, I want to have all the die cuts gone as well. Oops. Righto. So I've decided, well, I haven't really decided. I'm going to work it out. So this is going to sit like that. All right. Now, I could have done white. In the first card, my cardstock, my second layer of cardstock is actually white, but I chose pink, well, pretty in pink, because it matched my designer series paper a little better. Now, I've got a little, how cute is that? So I have one of the die cuts. Now, I want to show you. Now, you saw how many die cuts I'd used in the cards before. These are the cards. I've pulled a whole lot out that I might need tonight. These are the die cuts left. You get so many, and the die cuts come with the designer series paper. Now, so I'm going to use a little piece of this little gorgeous. It's got some foil on it, as you can now see. I'm going to keep it really simple. Now, I did have these, but let's be honest, there's not enough room for those. You don't know until you try what actually will work. And I'm not going to pop this up because it's quite a thick card already. I've got some opener here. I'm going to keep it nice and flat, but you can use dimensionals on these cards. But I do want this to go through the post office, and oops. So we'll put this so it goes on the diagonal. And then I can stick it down. I've got a bit more to add yet. Well, I hope I have anyway. And don't forget that pink square, the pretty in pink, is 2 3/4, just in case I didn't tell you that. I know. So how gorgeous. So you can see this coming together. You can use whatever you want. Now, what I do want is, I just kind of felt it needed a little more, but maybe I'm adding more of what I don't need. Don't think. I could pop that up like that and add a bit of don't want it too thick, so I'm actually going to use, now I know I said I wasn't going to pop it up. See, can't help myself. It's like adding bling. Good. This would make this so much easier. Well, you'd think it would. I think this is one that's been off and I've stuck it back down again. Let's try new. That's better. I've been carting these around in my bag for a few days, and some of them got a bit stuck. So this is my take a pick tool. Everything I'm using tonight is available from my online store. Let's see how we're going to do this. Can hang over a little bit, but you don't want it to hang over too much. I know. So then, oops, these pieces are going to come in. I just want to, you need a little bit up. And they're going to have these on. So I leave the importance about how the, got a bit sticky here. how these go on is you want to line it up corner to corner and have a little bit of that blueberry bushel. So again, I'm going to be do it on the triangle. Just will make it a little easier. So I've got a little bit of blueberry bushel showing. And this is where that multi-purpose glue comes in handy, because you can wiggle it a little bit so that you get it in the right spot. And then so you can see how this is coming together. So this is going to sit like, just so you can see I've got one side done. I need to reinforce those folds a little bit, which I can do. Now, what you find, the idea of this is what you'll find is it will fold one way better than the other. And if one bit's not perfect, now if you're going to put it on the triangle, you've got to make sure you don't go to the very edge, because remember, I'm showing a little bit of that edge. I've got my everything crooked here. A little bit of that edge showing. And go to that edge all the way through. Now, I need to get this in as far as I can and then get it to line up. So you're going to have a smaller border on these. See, one of these, remember, I cut maybe not perfectly. I don't. So now I'm going to reinforce these folds here. You see, this card doesn't take long. You've just got to walk it through. So reinforce that fold. Reinforce that fold. So I just open this out to be able to redo that. So this is how it looks so far. I've got to take these little pieces off. They were my tape that holds it together. Now, I could actually add some strips of basic white cardstock to actually write on the back here. I haven't done that on this card or the other one, but certainly it's what I want to do. So that's how it now looks. So let's see. Oh, I like those, but I think they might be a bit too much. So let's make a little layer some of these flowers up. I want some of the blueberry bushel ones. Now these they're so good because you can layer them up. They don't have to be the same on each side. Let's see what else I got. There's so many of them. And they're so gorgeous. I'll pop some of them out. I probably should use. Now I've still got a sentiment to put on. So before I stick anything down, I don't think I like that pink one. I might add another blue. And a little green leaf. We can play with this in a second. But before I do that, I want to pull out. I'm doing the really easy way of doing this tonight. Put those there. Because I'm going to pull out the greetings. I think they're greetings for all, I think is what they're called. And what are they called? Greetings for all, mix and match, ephemera pack. These are carrying over, which I'm really excited. So they're in the annual catalogue that's coming up. And for those who are not demonstrators, the catalogue, we've seen it. Whoop, whoop. It is so nice. So I keep liking the Taking those off. So there's a whole lot of these to choose from. I don't want black ones, solid black, which you can see here. I want some of these little lighter ones. So it's a birthday card, obviously, because I got birthday cake. But I don't want this. That one's a little too big. But I can do a best wishes, which are cute, and some little kisses. And just in case, you can see there's a whole lot of different options here. I have used these and used them. So I'm looking forward to getting another pack very soon. I know. So I'm going to just put best wishes there and some little, what do you call those? Would you call those kisses? Or do they mean something else to you? Maybe you can't see. What do you think? This year's caddy is really nice and I'm loving the layout, Chrissy. Says Chrissy. You're addicted to those dimensional. Everybody says that. Now, Chrissy's just commented because we've both seen the catalogue and it's so much, let's be honest, so much better layout than what we had last year. They listened to our feedback. They tried something new last year and they listened to our feedback, and I think that's going to go there. I'm going to pop these up. So I'm not going to take a lot of time with this because you get to choose how you do it. And probably my best wishes is going to sit like across there somewhere. So let's bring this down. I only want a little tiny bit of that green leaf. So I'm going to pop these up. Do like dimensionals. So because I want to slide some things underneath here, I find it always easier if I put my dimensionals. I was going to put 3 on, but hugs and kisses. Oh, thank you, Glenda L. That's what I kind of thought they were, but I hadn't thought about hugs. So, yeah, so we want to send some hugs and kisses. I'm putting this here, and I'm going to keep that flat. I mean, you can play with this. Sorry. So maybe put that there. Going to put that under there, but I don't want all of it to show. I could cut it down, but let's keep it simple. Who else likes this ephemera pack? I absolutely love it. And you keep seeing me use it. And I mean, other than it's really easy to use, and today it was perfect because, now where's my little best wishes? My best wishes have escaped. They're just going to sit across there. So I'm going to have to cut that off a little bit. That's just too big, and that's what you can do if your die cuts or whatever are a little too big. Which end am I going to use? Maybe this one. So I only wanted a little bit showing there. Then I'll pop these up. See, now you've got me worried. Because now I'll only use 2, because normally I'd use 4. But everybody teases me about the number of dimensionals. So let's put this so they will sit. Want them square. Let's straighten up my paper. So just like that. So that font is so gorgeous because it keeps it so simple. Then we'll come over here. I had different ones over here and they escaped. So I've got this gorgeous little daisy. Oops. Gorgeous little daisy. Wants to escape. So we're going to pop up the daisy. Because I've got a little, I like I'm a little symmetrical, let's be honest about it. I don't do random real well. So I'm using the same colour, different flower. I just want to get this nice and straight. Nice and straight. Now, I did cut. I've got a little green leaf. This time I'm going to use the other end of it so I don't waste anything. So slide it under because I didn't put dimensionals everywhere. I do have die cuts everywhere here. And trying to use the blueberry bushels so it ties in with the card base that I've used. Yeah, and I'm going to add this little blue one. And so this is going to sit just across here. So I'm going to glue this one. I don't have to pop this up. Ooh. Not using any of those gold bits tonight. So which goes first, the hugs and kisses or the kisses and the hugs? Come on, X's or zeros first? I think it's hugs and kisses. I might have to turn that around. Get it nice and straight. Put it on there. Come on, stick. And then I'll just slide this one under. So how pretty is this? And it's just perfect. Right. So there's the card. So you can see it's got the 3 hugs first. Thank you, Chrissy, because that's what I did. So there it is. And then it's going to sit up like that. Now, you want to see it fold, don't you? So now I'll show you how this one folded. So I actually had to fiddle with this a little. Right, so mine folded like that and went in an envelope really easy. Now there's different ways of folding it, but you can fold them round the back. Wait a minute. Now I can't find another way of folding it. But anyway, you can have that side or that side, or you can have, I can only, me with spatial capacity. But anyway, you can fold it so it goes like this. I just cannot work that out at this very moment. I don't think that'll fit in an envelope. I've got some envelopes here somewhere. I'm pretty sure that won't fit in an envelope. No, of course it doesn't. There we go. So it can sit like that as well. I'll just pull that down. So now let's have a go at how this one's going to fold. So how pretty is this? It's just a pretty card, and you can see it sitting on your mantelpiece. As I said, you can put these on top when you've got it sitting, or these behind. I actually like them behind a little better, but that's me. You might like it a little different. And then, so I'm going to put that like that like that, and that over like that. So how easy is that? And then now you could wrap this with a ribbon, add some ribbon, or put a belly band on it. But I probably would just put it like that. And how gorgeous is it? And it's not a difficult, to be honest, it's not a difficult card. Now, you saw me not cut it perfectly, but it still works. And it still works really, really well. So it's a pretty card using this paper, but you can use whatever you've got in your stash. And it is a wow card. And if you sent that to someone, they'd be going, oh, I love this. And they'll be showing all their friends. And as I said, don't forget that you can add 2 pieces of basic white at the back. And remember, it'll just be the same as this. So when you cut, and where's my measurements? So it says you're cutting 3 by 7/8. Sorry, 4 by 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. You'd actually cut 6 if you're going to put something on the back, and obviously decorate it as well. So what do you think of that card? It's an interesting card. It matches this paper, I think. And I mean, this is like sugary sweet card, how I've done here. But then when you go back to this is nowhere near, let's get rid of that. This is a different style of card for a different person. So this is, I suppose, a cleaner card. Isn't as sweet, isn't as pretty, isn't as sugary, but I like them both. And you can control it, how your card actually looks, by the paper that you use and the die cuts you use. Now, I could have done the masculine one because I've got this gorgeous paper, which is called Wooden Texture, which is an online exclusive. And I could have made a masculine one of these. Kept it simple, used some different papers, and it would have turned out really well. Look at these papers. So there's so many papers that you would have in your stash that you would be able to use. And don't forget ephemera, because Stampin' Up has, I've got to say, they're absolutely rocking ephemera at the moment, and I can't say no to it. I love using it, and I'm an experienced card maker. But sometimes in the day, like tonight, I need to take a shortcut, and this is how it works out. Actually, what I would do, I think it needs something else there. It needs a bit of oomph up there. You know, who keeps adding stuff when they make a card? I do, as you can see. So I'm just going to add, looks like a little hole there, and I don't want a little hole there. I know. So I just picked a little one that was sitting on my desk. Rightio. So who would make this card? The green and yellow one could be masculine, and that's so true. It's a bright masculine, but I think it's suitable for a male. But it just does tell you how designer series paper can change how a project can actually turn out. So don't forget that all the ingredients for these cards are available from my online store. I will add a link to my online store below the live. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you're watching on replay, thank you very much. And it'll take me probably a couple of days to add it to YouTube. There's kind of a lot happening at the moment. Rightio. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate your support. Thanks for dropping by. And Chrissy says she's going to make this for a team day on Saturday. Thanks, everybody. Really enjoyed tonight. It's fairly quick and easy, and I will see you next week. Oh, wait a minute. I'll put you up so you can see me. Next week is my last live for about 6 weeks, I think. We'll see, because I'm going away on holidays. Whoop, whoop. Doesn't mean that I can't catch up with everybody. I'll still be checking my emails. I'll still be keeping up to date on all the news, but I won't be doing lives. It's a little hard to do that when I'm traveling. Bye for now. Look after yourself, and thank heavens that cyclone has moved on. Bye for now.